probably one of the most important conversations in my long married life was when I came home and I said to my wife, the CEO, who was my predecessor, I was CFO, wanted me to leave after 2 years my role as CFO and go and try to make a business out of this very fledgling digital activity, which had no business model and was losing tens of millions of dollars a year in the early days. So she said, well, what's the very worst thing that's going to happen? I had 2 little kids. And I said, well, they'll fire me is the very worst thing that's going to happen. And so she said, well, what are you going to do then? I said, what I've always done, fall back on my CPA certificate. And I said, I'll go somewhere and be somebody else's CFO. And she's like, well, that doesn't sound too bad, so go for it. And so I left my job as CFO and began to run this digital business. You know, the technology was not reliable. The servers would crash. We had all-nighter after all-nighter every time we upgraded one of the platforms. I mean, it was the Wild West inside of a very staid, traditional media business in all society. So we were like this little skunk works of entrepreneurs, and everybody else looked at us like we were complete lunatics in terms of what we were doing. But I just had so much belief that it was our future that I was just convinced that we couldn't fail. We just couldn't fail.